Okay, so I'm gonna call this part 2 of the conversion, just because it was a lot to kind of get that open to get down to there. All right, so like this is the burner, right, and the burner goes on here. That right there at the top part there, that's your orifice, right there. Your orifice, the new one, is gonna look like this, and it's gonna be engraved. Let's see, it's not gonna focus here. On the top of it, it's going to say 55. It's going to say 553. And you have this nut right here that screws all the way down. Right? Screws all the way down in there. And then this goes on top. I unscrewed all that to take this off. It's just easier for me because I have big hands. Okay? And then you have your regulator. Right? That's going to be your regulator. Your regulator, see if I can get it, sits in there like that. So you're going to take that, unscrew it. That's your old regulator. Get rid of the old regulator. And this is your new regulator. Right? So what you're going to do with that is it's going to have a pink cap on it. You're going to remove that pink cap, and then you're going to remove that white cap, right? And there's going to be a spring in there. It's going to be this little spring here, and you're going to put the red spring in there. Screw that back down. Once you put it in there, screw that back down. Screw your pink cap back on it. Then you stick your regulator back on there. Okay? You're going to want to change your orifices out. Look like somebody was trying to take these off once before. So once I take those off, I'll put the propane orifices back on. And then up top here, which the screw was stripped, so I got to get a kit to remove the screw. And that's going to be your pilot orifice. Change that, and then put everything back together, and you're set. You'll be all set for propane. There's your pressure screws, and you want to test it out. Just make sure nothing's hooked up when you're doing this, guys. I've turned it sideways, well, on its back, because it's just easier for me to work like that. Okay, guys, see the door? I just turned it on its back. And I got a light to kind of help me be able to see where I can get. But with those burners going across here, I had no room to get down there. So that's why I removed it like that. Most people say you don't have to remove the burners, but if you got big hands like I do, you're going to need to remove these burners to get to the orifices. Okay? And then with those orifices, what I used, give me 1 second. Kind of got everything turned around here. You're gonna want to get one of these guys here, ratchet it down. And then one of these sockets. And that's the easiest way to ratchet the orifices off once you get it. So guys, what I would suggest is to make sure you have tons and tons of time to be able to perform that. And then what I also use an 11/16 wrench, and that's, you got that top bolt and then the bottom one that I was telling you guys about. This one right here, that goes all the way down, stops right there. Then you attach that piece back on. If you guys need any help, it's taken me quite a time to do this, so if anybody needs help, just kind of comment down below. I'm only doing this video, and I know it doesn't seem real professional because I am not a professional. If you don't feel comfortable doing this, I suggest you reach out to a professional. I reached out to a professional. They quoted me about $400 to do this. The part only cost me shipped $130, then my labor. So it's not hard to do. It's time consuming, and you have to know what you're doing. So what I also did was I called the company whenever I got into a jam and was like, well, I can't figure this out. I called the company. So shout out to Pitco. Pitco is they're outstanding with that. No, I'm not sponsored or anything like that, but Pitco, if you buy their parts, you have time, you can call them, and they have technicians that actually walk you through the steps on what you need to do. I think the hardest part for me was getting down in here to where that regulator sits right there. That'll be the hardest part. Well, and this pilot. So the machine I'm working on now, this deep fryer, is about 20 years old. So these bolts haven't been touched for about 20 years. So a lot of them kind of stuck. WD-40 didn't work. PV blaster didn't work. None of those things worked. So what I'm going to wind up doing is drilling that out like I'm doing to get it out. If I have to, I'll replace that whole unit because these are cheap. It's the whole kit that really cost. So guys, do that. And then what I also did to kind of help me out as well, to know what I'm doing, is when I called Pitco, the guy, this is what he pointed me towards. He walked me through how to print it out, the PDF file. And it's your gas fryer exploded parts manual. And basically what that means is all of these parts, which is right here, it's kind of blown out into a diagram to where you can kind of better see it. It's not trying to focus here. There we go. So 3 is going to be your orifice. Those are what you're going to want to change. 3. As far as on your burners, those little pins, number 2s, those are what I pulled out so I can attempt to get to the burners to get them out. Over here is going to be your regulator and your gas valve. Okay. So depending on what yours look like, you're going to have to remove, the valve is going to sit on top. Well, the regulator is going to sit on top. You're going to have to try to find that. It's going to be bolted down with 2 screws. Pretty simple. Take those 2 screws off, pull it apart, and you'll get it done. So with time, it saves you money, but it's going to take you some time. It's going to take you at least an hour and a half, 2 hours, if you already know what you're doing. In my case, I didn't know what I was doing, so I had to call the company Pitco 2 times, but it was worth it. Is because now I'm getting ready to finish the conversion, and I'll have a propane deep fryer 40-pound where I can put on our food truck and pretty much go anywhere. Thank you guys for watching. Comment down below and like and subscribe. Thank you.